Yeah, hi everyone. Brian from Bearable Traders here. Sunday, November 3rd, back in the home office and looking forward to the week ahead. We've got lots of earnings coming up this week. Lots of companies are going to be reporting next week. We've got Uber on Monday and Under Armour. Wednesday's a big one. Got Baidu, Square, Roku, which we've been enjoying trading in the day trading room, Qualcomm, Disney on Thursday, Activision Thursday. Not much on the economic front. I think we might have an ISM number coming up on Tuesday, but not a lot going on there with economic numbers. But, tail of the tape is higher and higher. And you can see here Friday we had some pretty strong market action. Some news about maybe the phase one of the trade talks between China and the US. So internals look pretty good here. But why is the market going up? Uh, One of the reasons, here we go. I've looked at thrown this chart up before, and it just illustrates again why I think one of the reasons why we're going up is the Fed is actively in there with QE4. And they're not calling it QE4, but you can see this is their balance sheet, and you can see here right on September 11th, it's where they flipped around and they've just been in there buying securities left, right, and center, and just pumping money into the system, and they are going to push the market higher. So I think the path of least resistance, they say don't fight the Fed, and this is the path of least resistance. It will be higher. So that's where I think we're going. Let's just take a look here at some of our stocks. Start out with the indexes. You can see here the yield curve kind of rolled over a little bit on the 10-year, and I'm not really sure where it's going. It might just be stuck in this range between 180 and 170. Some people think it's going to be dropping, but I'm not. I don't see any indication one way or another where this is headed right at this point. Again, pretty choppy weekly. Not much going on there, so we may be stuck in that range. You can see here the Dow broke out on Friday, not quite right at the high, prior high back in July. We'll see. I think we're, like I said, path of least resistance is higher with the Fed in there buying securities, and you can see here on the weekly. Volume kind of average, but RSI curling up here, and it looks like we are going to push higher. IWM's been warming up a bit here. The small caps, you can see here we had a big day Friday after this Wednesday, Thursday pullback, and we're right back up at some pretty significant resistance here. So it'll be interesting to see which direction this goes. But again, I think bias from my point of view is to the upside. Again, we had a little bit more volume coming in, although it's not, I wouldn't call it great. Qs broke out to a new high, and you can see here on the weekly breaking to a new high here. Again, volume kind of anemic actually, but doesn't hold the market back. And the SPY again breaking out new high. Let's take a look at the weekly. Again, here we are breaking out, volume picking up a little bit, RSI turning up. It's all looking good for a markets that are going to probably continue higher next week. So dollar just seems to be maybe finding some support here, maybe putting in a double bottom if you're a currency trader. Volume was a little bit higher on Friday on the UUP. The VIX, of course, I think it's right back down where we were back here in July when there was complete volatility sucked out of the market. So we'll see if this 12 holds this time. There's a couple of stocks on watch. Again, keeping in mind Baidu is reporting on Wednesday, and so I don't like to hold stocks through earnings. I know a lot of talking heads on CNBC, they talk about all these strategies, option strategies to hold stocks through earnings. My opinion is it feels like a crapshoot. although I think it was like 80% of the stocks have been reporting better than expected profits. So, a lot of the surprises have been to the upside. So I'm not really going to be playing this, but it's going to be interesting to see which direction Baidu goes. Baba had a pretty good report, but it actually sold off after they reported some good earnings. So it'll be interesting to see what Baba does. But again, I'll be just watching that from the sidelines. CGC, and tried to play this for a bit of a pop. It did actually get back up to where I expected it to go, but it had to do a little pullback first. Stopped me out, but anyway, it's right back down at a level where you might be able to trade it again. So I might be watching that for some bottoming action around this night. If 1970 can hold, we might be getting a bit of a double bottom here, and certainly that'll help if the markets go higher. Gold, I think gold is on the verge of breaking out here, and so Nugget's an interesting play. Looking at GDX as well. Let's just take a quick look at the gold contracts. Just want to highlight something here. It looks promising that it may be breaking out here if we look at this. It does look like this might be a breakout on gold, and we might be heading back up to this 1550 level. So that's why I'm kind of interested. I'm just looking at gold here, and I've got some GDX on right now as a trade. And this is the weekly Nugget's a good way to trade this. GDXJ is another way. It's a little less volatile than Nugget. So it just looks like this may be this may be a pattern that actually is going to start to break out, and we may get back up to this 35 level here on Nugget if you wanted to play Nugget. Roku is reporting this week, so it'll be interesting to see. You can see here back in August when it reported, had a big gap up, and so again, a lot has happened since it made this report. We came back down, filled this gap, came back down to the support level, and then we've been clawing our way back here. So it's going to be interesting to see what Roku reports on Wednesday. Again, we'll be watching from the sidelines on that one. SMH breaking out, continues to move higher, and that's the semiconductor index. Square again is one of the companies that's reporting Wednesday, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. PayPal already reported. Square popped a little bit on the PayPal news, but PayPal has sort of fallen back into a trading range, so I'll be again watching to see what Square does here. The TBT, which tracks the yield, is it's doing the same thing. It's kind of just hanging around. Don't see a trade there. TLT is the opposite of TBT. We'll see which direction decides to go. TNA, which is a way to play the small caps, the IWM, again, kind of looks like it wants to break out here, but it's right up at a level of prior resistance, so may not be a good place to take an entry. Could be a bit of a pullback here. So it might be an actually interesting trade if it gets back to sort of 61-ish. Might put an alert there if we get a pullback. It might be worth buying on that one. UNG, natural gas is all over the place. Thursday it was down, Friday it was up. Thursday's when the inventory number comes out. So, and I think there was some news about some weather predictions about it being fairly cold this winter. So I think that's why it actually popped up there. Oil, looks like oil took a bit of a bounce here, and again, it may come back up to resistance, and we'll just see if it can manage it through there. XNet, I should have put this in hold. I took a position on XNet. Looked like it wants to go higher. I'm hoping maybe we'll get a run like this again, but it's right here at the 200-day, and we'll see if we can get some further momentum on that in the next couple of trading days. See what the daily looks like. Yeah, see it did a bit of a pullback here, and now it's come right back up. And this is the all-time, or at least the all-time high on this move. right up to 683, and we got to 645 on Friday. But hollow fill candle here, pulled back, and now it's been going higher again. RSI's curling up again. So really just a momentum trade. I'm just hoping for some follow through tomorrow. And that's about it. We'll see what happens on Monday. As I said, bias to the upside on the markets. And this is my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. If you haven't checked it out already, yeah, check it out. And we'll see everyone in the Bear Bull trading room tomorrow morning, Monday morning, bright and early. See everybody then. Bye for now.